Hello, we are the Ministry of the Real Truth, and I am your host, the Couch Screamer. And as we always state in the introduction to our videos, we always try to bring you the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. No science fiction, hype, or other fluff or BS. Okay. You might see that this banner up here. It's got a name, Hammer's Online Wake Up Channel. Yeah, this is one I was creating ages ago, and I made this banner probably about 2016 or 17 or something like that. Quite a way back. I was going to use it for channel, YouTube channel, but decided against it over time because I ended up having a brand account. So I thought, well, try to find a business title or something, that orientation. So I created Real Juicy News, which is doing really well now. Thanks to our subscribers. Love you all, appreciate you all, and also this one, the Ministry of the Real Truth. We have a couple other ones that, they're doing alright. Right, picking up the subscribers along the way, but we've got to work on it more. Okay, so why we're saying this is because this name up here is a nickname I've been given over the years by small children of friends that came to our house because they felt that my mother was like their adopted nanny or grandmother, right? That's just how they were, because she was really kind to them and spent time with them, all that sort of stuff. When the parents are busy, all that sort of stuff. They're lacking in contact or social interaction with their parents because their parents are working 2 or 3 jobs, right? So they come over here and they couldn't say, one of them couldn't say my name, the first one, right? A little guy called Brian, now he's a big guy. He said, his name's Hammer, because he basically couldn't say my real name, right? Which a lot of other people get confused trying to say it anyway. So he was the first one, and then met a partner, and she had a young boy, and he couldn't say my name either. These two had never met. And there's another one, even one when I was talking to a woman on a telephone social chat call, whatever. She says, what's the man's name, son? His name's Hammer. And she said, no, this is his name. He said, no, this is his name, right? Hammer, because he couldn't pronounce my real name. Anyway, so it stuck, right? But it's not a problem because some other subscriber out there's got a channel calling himself Hammer, spelled the same way, promoting a hip-hop band from Australia, who are young fellas, really, really good. Can't remember their name, but if I did, I'd say, go check them out, because they're really good, doing their thing. Anyway, so that's not a problem. So today, because we were pondering this question for a while, we decided to do a video on it, as to why do we believe in a creator God, or God. Well, we base our beliefs on our personal life, our life experiences, logic and common sense, and also what we see here and experience around us on a daily basis. So we come to the belief or the conclusion that someone or something, be it a God, right, creator God, or if he is proven not to exist at all, right, you've got to provide the evidence, all that sort of stuff to verify that, establish the fact that he doesn't, right? So if that comes up, proven, well, we're open to an alternative, because there's claims out there that it's all alien, confederation or configuration, created and all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah, we're open. But at this point, we believe that is the creator God, okay, for our various different reasons. Okay, that brought forth everything into the world, into the universe, onto the earth, onto the planet, and in the animal kingdom, right? And we don't believe that all just happened by mere chance or pure luck, right? Or wishful thinking. And we're not into the evolution thing. We don't believe that we're all apes. We might have similar characteristics, similar DNA or cells, similar to a pig. That doctor was going to mix with human DNA or something to cure cancer, that sort of thing, right? And sometimes we do go bananas, get really angry and animalistic and go ape in that sense, right? I don't believe we're apes. We don't believe we're apes, all that sort of stuff. I don't believe in the evolution thing. Okay, we believe that there is a word evolution and that things progress, adapt, and all that sort of stuff. But we don't believe in the Charles Darwin evolution. We have had a look at it, studied it for a while there, but No, it's not our cup of tea. Yeah, for everything in the universe and on the earth, in nature, in the animal kingdom, is either part of or happening according to a big plan, or in the universe's case, it's all synchronized and it happens as if it's on a timer or by clockwork. Okay, and life has taught us that our life we lived, had only brought us misery, pain, letdowns, heartaches, loss, etc. And from our personal experiences of that life, we've come to realise, as well as this life, that life is what happens. Things in life have a way of happening or occurring. Life isn't a comfy bed of roses or petals, or soft petals, sugar candy, or candy floss. Life isn't fair. It doesn't play fair. She's a bitch. She doesn't show anyone favours. It just happens. Life just happens as it happens, right? People close to us in our environment and its surroundings are often the ones who make our lives a living hell, be it parents, siblings, neighbours, or complete strangers, for they use us, abuse us mentally, physically, sexually, spiritually, even verbally, etc. Often we are, as it's quoted, our own worst enemies, or the culprit that makes our life living hell because of the decisions we make or the choices we make. We can simply live on in its never-ending circle or web if that's what we choose to do. The repetitive cycle, go through that repetitive cycle over and over again, or we can seek and find an alternative, a better way, because we have choice. We have the ability to decide, to choose, to make a choice, to make decisions. We, the Ministry of the Real Truth, have experienced life in all of its travails. We have come to realise that there is a better way, and that better way, when we first heard about Jesus Christ, was through Jesus Christ, right? We still believe that. Okay. But when we first went back to Christianity, because we were, I guess you go to Sunday school and all that sort of stuff, learning about it, parents sent us there probably to get us out of here. Yeah, we believed in Him. Okay. So, we thought, we'll just go with it. And we were told, or unsold, a way, right? Their way, according to their way. And through our own personal experiences, we found that that way was or is flawed. Okay, we're being told that that way was right. They were teaching us that their way was right. Others weren't, etc., etc. And we found over time, over the years, that it was actually incorrect and flawed. Okay, but because we were indoctrinated and kept getting these stories pumped into our head, in the back of your conscience, your subconscious, whatever, over the years, right? Indoctrination, whatever, right? Told this is the truth, believe this truth. We're the only ones that know the truth because we're men of God. You don't know nothing. You're just a babe in the faith. You're still on the milk. We're consuming the meat. We know it all that sort of stuff, right? Don't listen to anyone else. Don't go deep and research it or ask questions. Don't question us, all that sort of stuff. And half the time they wouldn't answer your questions because it creates confusions and stuff like that. Reading your text, right? Say for instance, we got confused when these early Christians, right? Because we got invited, or motivated, inspired by a friend at a job to go to his church. So got a friend to pick us up and we went there and we liked it and got back into it. But we always felt that there was had this funny feeling that there's something wrong with Christianity. So we were like being observant, looking at what is it? What is it? There's something wrong here, right? And we noticed that, possibly through our research as well, that they play the piano, they play this emotional music, right? So you get all emotional and cry and get all these feelings and stuff like that. And then the pastor's saying these key words, probably trigger words, right? And he's telling you, if you don't believe, if you don't step up and give your life to Christ right now, right this minute, you're going to burn in hell. You'll be barbecued, all that sort of stuff, right? Put all the fears into you, so you run up there and you follow whatever they tell you, right? And they keep pumping it in your head, pumping it in your head, pumping it in your head over that time. So it becomes, stuck in the back of your mind, and then become this parrot. You go and parrot it to everybody else, thinking that you know what the book actually says, right? But you're actually not reading it properly because you've got like modern translations that are supposedly corrupt from from a certain source through all the Protestant and Roman Catholic scribes over the centuries, and then it's all translated, and they're in this biblical modern version, right? Pumped out through their associates, the American Bible Society, etc., etc. We did do a video on this guy Brian with the glasses and the beard, and he explains all that. And also we found that with the ancient original Aramaic New Testament translator Victor N. Alexander, his research, he basically said the same thing. It's all not of the original sacred scribe or old tongue or language. These hidden preserved manuscripts, etc., etc., from the original Church of the East that two disciples founded, gave these original writings of what Christ said and did around pre-1st century AD, etc., etc., and gave it to these high priests who had it for 2,000 years from the Roman Catholics and the Mohammedans or Islam at the time, because obviously they would have got hold of them, probably burnt them, put the people to the fire, all this sort of stuff, killed them off, whatever, right? All that sort of stuff. But they ended up persecuting them for 18 centuries or something like that. Anyway, we're going off topic. So we always had this gut feeling that something was wrong. So one day, just didn't go to that church anymore. Right? Broke away from all organised religions. Was looking on the internet and came across this website called the Theory of the Aborigine. Right, and we had a chuckle because we thought, oh, what's this crap, pre-Adamic man and all this sort of Neanderthal stuff. So we thought, oh yeah, there's Adam before Adam, this monkey man or a Neanderthal man living in a cave, all that sort of stuff. We were chuckling at that, thought, oh, this is some young guy's prank, or it's a conspiracy theory or something like that. And we kept reading it, and then we thought, oh, this is a joke. So he had a break from it, and then we went back again, maybe a couple of weeks later, a different part of this website, because it was a big website, right? And it was just a small chunk of it. Not realising that it belonged to this native-born Aramaic-speaking translator from Betnarin or Mesopotamia, Syria, Victor N. Alexander. Right? That was just his theory, because when he translated the Brita, or the original Genesis manuscripts, into English, that's what he found, that there was a pre-Adamic man or a Neanderthal man created before Adam. Right? They had no soul, he had spirit, breath of life, etc., etc., but he had no soul, no connection to God, right? Yeah. Whereas the second one, Adam and Eve, they were, spirit. They had life, but that spark of life, but they had that spirit of God in them, right? So they had that connection with God, and so forth, like that, according to this translation of the Brita, right? So, yeah, we come across the rest of his website, saw he had an email there, so he wrote to him and said, ha, chuckle, chuckle, we found this, and he wasn't fazed by it, like, when in his reply, he wasn't snotty or uppity that we were laughing at it, right? His theory, didn't even mention it, but whatever he replied to us, he was quite a nice older man, very meek, tolerant. Often had a joke with us. Like one time I did an email and said, I found this on internet about the Aramaic and this and this and this, and he go, chuckle, chuckle, you seem to find all this amazing or weird stuff according to related to the Aramaic scriptures. Yeah, so I thought, oh, what a cool guy. So yeah, kept corresponding with him and asking him questions and stuff, and he explained it to me because I was like confused, like, hang on, if Jesus is God, he's in the garden, Gethsemane or whatever, praying to God, he's up in heaven on the throne, etc., etc. He's on the cross dying, and he cries out to his Father on the throne. He's saying to this other guy, none are good, on the road to Damascus or whatever, none are good, why do you call me good, only God is good, etc., etc. Then I thought, how could he be God? And he explained it, you got a funny way of seeing Christ, etc., etc. And then I think he gave me some verses, scriptures. So I looked further to his website and come to realise, yeah, here's a verse here that says, "Oh God, even your God," and then you are Allah, who being God in the Aramaic. Oh Allah, even your Allah, just different things that pointed to him being God. Okay, so I realised Eastern mindset. He's educated with the Eastern mindset, etc., etc. Thinks with it, right? So these people that wrote all these original scriptures, right, and the ones that copied it, the scribes and the monks in 800 BCE in Ur-Hai, the Old Testament in Galilean Aramaic, right? They all had Eastern mindsets. So I thought, well, I have to develop an Eastern mindset to fully understand it, because another man, a professor, I said doctor or professor in the Aramaic and Hebrew language, Dr. James D. Francisco from the Aramaic Scriptures video on YouTube, actually said on that video, if you don't know and understand idioms, that's the Eastern way of expressing whatever they had on their mind or wrote down. It's their form of expression, right? Explaining something. If you don't understand those, you don't know the Bible as well as you think you do, or you claim you do, right? Okay. So I thought, yeah, okay, he's right. So I quoted him that underneath that video. I said, didn't you quote that? He goes, yeah, that's right. That's true. Right? If you don't understand or know the idioms, you don't understand the Bible as well as you think you do, or as you claim you do. You don't know it as well, right? Okay? Because they had a different mindset, Eastern mindset. Like, if you were trying to, what you're basically trying to do is you're trying to take the Eastern texts, right, and translate them into English, etc., using a English or Western mindset. It doesn't work. It's like oil and water, right? Or petrol and diesel. They don't mix. Okay, it doesn't gel, so it's impossible. Okay, and that's why these people are making mistakes and stuff, because of the different mindsets. So I realised I have to somehow develop an Eastern mindset. So the best way was to keep contacting this Victor Alexander through email and stuff like that, and then adapting and adopting that, right? So now when I read his translations in the English and compare it with the modern Bibles, I don't have any more confusion. All those confusions, all those questions I had as a baby Christian or a Christian going to those churches and asking, hang on, you said Adam and Eve are the only ones on the planet, right? And then they had two sons, one dies, one's killed, right, etc., etc. But there's people in the other land. They couldn't explain that, right? So when I question them, they get all uppity, right? But now I have no confusions, as I've just stated, reading the Victor N. Alexander's Old Testament translations from Genesis to the last book of the Old Testament. He hasn't done them all, right, because he's quite an older man. He hasn't got around to finish them all, but I think he's done all the New Testament, right? So I can compare the two and I don't have any confusion, right? And that's why I see a whole lot of people out there, they're totally confused. But when you say, here is what the original manuscripts in the original language said, translated in English by a native-born Mesopotamian, they get all nasty. Because, why? Because something that they hold so dear, it's a cognitive, it's a neuro thing, right? You touched on it, you exposed what they believe to be true is actually incorrect. So they get all uppity, they get all snotty, right? It's like assuming, making assumptions, saying, oh, you're the devil, you're this, you're that, as if they have been intimate with you. Like, they lived in your home and they know exactly what you're like. They're just making assumptions, right? Trying to cover their butt. Yeah, they say to us, oh, we really want to know the truth. And when we present it to them, these sacred old scribal scriptures in English, translated by Victor Alexander, right? And they don't want to know about it. They say, oh, it's the devil. My KJV or my NIV, it's the infallible word of God. We're out there on the street showing these people, saying, well, it's actually incorrect. For example, when the Christ or Eosha or Mashiach was hanging on the cross, it's got the Aramaic Eloi, Eloi, my God, which is correct in the English. And it's got something like Lama Shvikthani, etc., etc. They say, oh, he's saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? Yet in the Old Testament scriptures it says that God will never leave you nor forsake you, because God doesn't forsake, right? Okay. So in that original Galilean Aramaic, translated by a person who speaks it, right? Okay, they should know what it means. He's actually saying wherefore, which implies something to do with destiny, right? You have to look at put the in Alexander's Aramaic New Testament footnotes at the bottom to really understand it. Wherefore is implying destiny, right? So he's saying, why have you abandoned me, or why have you left me? Okay, in the case of this, or to my destiny, or something like that. Okay, yeah. So fully understand it and say to them, well, that's not exactly what you're saying is actually incorrect. You're preaching or teaching a false rendering of what he said, right? And they get all upset. Okay, so again, back to we have a drink of water, that these people are teaching and preaching incorrect translations, right? So all we're trying to do at the Ministry of the Real Truth is to reveal these to them, done by this man, and a native Aramaic speaking translator from Mesopotamia, that theirs is incorrect, right? Theirs is a latter Roman Catholic rendition, corrupt, incorrect, or whatever, put out there in the world by the American Bible Societies, along with their lies, whatever, right? Okay, we can leave the Brian video on the end of this video, so you can see we're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes, and so forth. Yeah, so we realise there's a better way. Okay, it might be a little complicated for Christians because they're indoctrinated, and that they got these new versions, and that's the only way they know, right? It's been pumped in their head, so they don't want to know anything different. Okay, it might be a little confusing to them because who's Ishor Mashika, or who's Ishor Messiah, all these names and stuff like that. Why does it say that? Why does it seem like sometimes the translation from the Aramaic into the English is like, or when you translate something from the original language, like I say, our Maori language, in English you would say something like, when it's translated, you put it into the correct grammatical order or whatever, right? Structure. So you would say, what is your name? But in our language, if you translated, say, ko, wai, taku ingoa, into English, it wouldn't be what is your name, it would be what name is you, or something like that, right? It's different in the translation. Okay, so sometimes that's confusing for people as well. But I tried to explain it to them, but they just don't want to listen. They're doggone stubborn, dogmatic, whatever, and they start trying to make these excuses. My brother's picking me up at the end of the street in 5 minutes, I better go. And you look, and they're still there preaching to someone else an hour later, 2 hours later, or whatever, right? Okay? They make some excuse, or they try to over-talk you, they try to overshout you. Say, oh, you're the devil, throw that one in the bin. Because my King James says, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, or something like that, whatever, right? Whereas the Aramaic original might say something different, like, the blood, the water, yes, ghost, or whatever, something like that. Yeah. So because the whole idea is they're on a ladder, right? They're all trying to get to the top of this ladder. They're trying to stay on the ladder at the top, very top. So they're kicking the others, the competition, the opposition, off, right? Coming up the lower rungs, trying to get to the top as well. They're kicking them off by defaming them, all that sort of thing. Now I've lost my water. There we go. Right, yeah. Okay, it's all a they've got an agenda, a motive, an agenda, okay, to be number one, right? Organised religions, be it Judaism, Roman Catholicism, Islam, right? All those religions, they're all fighting with each other, trying to get to the top, right? But the problem is they haven't got these original manuscripts. They're all modernised. You might have a you might have a new version, Bible version, Americanized modern Bible version, that in the introduction it states this Bible committee formed in 1976 or 1967 was made up of these top people of the different denominations, right? That came in and they all sat down and researched it and put it all together in this new translation because they felt they needed a new translation, and then they did it 3 times, 4 times, proofread it, all that sort of stuff, right? Saying that they got these, they translated from the original, the ancient, original or very old languages, the Aramaic, the Hebrew, the Latin, Greek, etc. But if you know, if you did your personal research and you know what we know, you'll find that you come to realise that they haven't. Why? Because they're all dead languages. You would have to have some form of method, as Victor and Alexander did, by using those root words, possibly, to translate those original scriptures through using the modern vernacular, those root words from the modern vernacular, whatever he did, right? Okay, because they're all dead languages. Does anybody speak Shakespeare speak? Yeah, Old English, Middle English, Latin, Old Germanic, Norse, whatever, they're all long dead languages. Even the modern even the Hebrews are a dead language, right? But they keep saying, "Oh, we're speaking the original Kitab Asherit, Avri, the sister language of the Kitab Asherit, ancient Aramaic," right? When they're not. I've asked a few rabbis on YouTube and stuff, well, you're claiming you know the Kitab Asherit, when they actually don't. They drop themselves in it and you realise that they don't. They're just claiming they do. Oh, the modern Hebrew we're speaking today is Kitab Asherit. No, it's not. Okay, I read something the other day that they're supposed to be using the Hebrew as closest to the Phoenician language, and that's what they're using, right? But then you get somewhere else, someone admitting, no, we're using the modern Israeli Hebrew. Yeah. So there's a difference. Like, you had the two sister languages way back in the old days, ancient days, where they had exactly the same words and the same meanings. But somewhere along the way, the Hebrew was probably modified. They added vowels, vowels and the dot system structure, what do you call it, in their language, which changes the structure of the language and also changes the words, the meaning of the words. So the ancient Aramaic had a word Yuma, the Hebrew had the word Yom, which probably would have been exactly the same, day, right? In the Aramaic it means immeasurable period, eon, era, age, day with a capital D, because their day is probably based on the Brita or Genesis for the sun and the moon, the two great lights in the lunar solar cycle, as we found with the world's last chance claim, right? It's a very different day, right? But they're using today's day. Okay, fair enough, the day has 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night, as Christ said, isn't there 12 hours in the day, right? But the Aramaic Hebrew day appears to be very, very different. Yeah, some people Christians we confronted, they said, because we said in Genesis that a day was said to be evening and then morning, that was the first day, right? Okay, so if that's a day, then wouldn't that be like the Hebrew? That's the Hebrew day, right? Aramaic Hebrew day, right? Very, very different. It's not like our day where we see a day starts from the morning and ends in the evening. Okay, they've got a very different. Sometimes gets your head twisted. Rendering of what a day actually is, right? Very, very different. Yeah. We tried to explain it before, but we'd have to look at Will's last chance to get it right. We always seem to mess it up, right? So yeah, what we do is we've tried to find a better way, because we just had this funny feeling there's something wrong with Christianity. Like why are these top supposed evangelists, Daystar evangelists, whatever, like Rick Warren, the Jansen guy, Kenneth Copeland, etc., why do they suddenly get caught out, right? Like they did a scam, they got caught by the cops in a car with a prostitute with dirty magazines under the seat, i.e., what's that guy? Really like his singing, Jimmy Swaggart. Why was Tammy Baker and the husband ended up part of a scam or whatever it was, a sham. Why did this guy get caught in a motel with wearing a frilly dress, getting loved by some other guy, right? And he had a church for 20, 30 years, he created it and all that sort of stuff, put it together, founded it, whatever. And he totally loses his church. Why is that happening? Because these guys are still of the world, or the devil works on, he knows that you're carnal, right? That people are carnal. He knows, he's been doing it for millions of years, billions of years apparently, right? And his way seems to work. So he catches these guys out, or there's something out there, an organisation out there that says you can't say this, you can't say that, you better say it this way, or else, right? We know some crap, we've got some crap on you, so if you don't do what we say, well, I'm going to reveal it to the world. So teach this and this, right, or else. It could be something like that. So what we because of all that, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a better way. There's the way, but there's a better way of that way, if you understand what I mean. And we found it through the translation of both the Old and New Testament from the Kitab Asheret and the Galilean Aramaic, as translated by Victor and Alexander. There's some things we still not agreeable on, with it in regards to them, but we study it more and more, and then we realise what he was actually talking about. So we don't have an issue with that anymore. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to seek the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but that truth. We know that there's a lot of fluff out there, a lot of science fiction being told us, sold us. We just know, right? We experienced it. We experienced trickery, deceit by Christian adherents and stuff like that. People yelling at us, calling us Satan and demonic, all that sort of crap, right? Making assumptions, wild assumptions. They never met us, never been intimate with us, right? It's just a way out. It's part of their it's something to do with their ego, that hit a raw nerve, all that sort of stuff. So if you really want to know the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about that hype and fluff and other rubbish, other garbage, then subscribe to our channel. We've got brand new videos every day, right? We've got a policy. Honesty is our best policy, so we strive by that, live by that, right? We believe in chivalry, right? That a man's word is a man's word. We're not here to pull wool over your eyes, put a cap over your eyes with other fluff and hype and science fiction, right? Okay, because we're truth seekers. We were looking for the truth since we first went to church, right, up until this very moment, and we believe we found it. We've done the research on different people, Victor Alexander, the ancient Assyrian Apostolic Orthodox Church of the East, the head patriarch, different people claiming this and that, they translated this and that, they've got visions, they've got new translations, God told them this, God told them that. We're checking them all out, and we play the journalist card, we do the research, we dig deep, and if you think you're squeaky clean and we find out that you're dirtier than mud, well, we let the people know, right? People deserve to know the real truth, the whole truth, and nothing but that truth. They've been duped too long, right? Been sold a bill of goods, taken down a deceptive road, etc., etc., like that. Been fleeced of their money. Come on, man, cut it out. Be the real deal. That's the whole point of it. Be the real deal, right? Be a real disciple of Christ, or God follower, or whatever. Stop the nonsense. Okay. And stand firm in your faith, etc., etc., in your belief. Don't be put off by us or anybody else. Do your own research. Come to the conclusion, for your own personal research and understanding. If that's the truth for you, then that's the truth for you, isn't it? Don't be swayed by someone else that tries to tell you another. All that scriptural stuff. So this is just hopefully a short video, a ramble, to give you some insight there about us, the Ministry of the Real Truth. Okay, we were challenged by a certain house of consciousness people, but we just don't have to do debates stuff like that. We're not very good at live stream. We're still learning. Not very good at much like that. But yeah, we said we'll debate these people, right? But if someone else out there might better, do it on our behalf or give us a hand, because we're into Linux. Okay, we're not Linux geeks. We're learning day by day, right? I'm I guess a qualified technician. I can get an old machine off the road, look at it, put it back together, troubleshoot it, reinstall it, reformat it, reinstall it, whatever. Put a new system on there, secure it, using the Windows system, operating systems. But they're a pain in the bum, because there's so many holes in them, hot fix, update wise, security risks, so that stuff it. Takes us hours and hours to set it all up and then secure it, try and secure it as best as we can. Then we find that the software is dodgy, right? And we end up getting the virus and it shuts down or freezes on us. Stuff that went to Linux, which you just have to put on a small USB stick, run it, trial it. If you like it, put it to your hard drive. Very, very small chances of getting a virus or that sort of stuff. Hell of a lot easier. Don't even really have to set it up. Just if I want to install it on a hard drive, you can do that. Or it only takes about 30 minutes. Hell of a lot shorter than doing it Windows one. Or just trial it, run it and trial it. Go to the net if you've got a network card, all that sort of stuff. Or it's all set up, internet set up, your broadband, whatever. Yeah, no problem. Hell of a lot easier. It makes life easier. It doesn't give you as much headaches as an MS system does. Apparently there's 11 coming out. It's like, oh my gosh. When will they fix all those hot fix holes? Like they promised. I think they're trying to merge with Linux. I don't really know. But yeah, we're on Linux, so some of the software is limited. Sometimes it doesn't even work. The free software you can download and install whatever, through the terminal or through the different what are they called? Software sections on there. Right? Anyway, we are the Ministry of the Real Truth. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope I didn't ramble on too much. If you did, then subscribe to our channel because we have brand new videos every day. As we said, we're bringing you the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. No fluff or hype or other BS. Okay. So yeah, thanks for taking the time of watching this video. Okay, we always seem to be aiming for a new look. You see the background here is way different from our usual video. A lot tidier, I guess. A lot more colourful. So if you like this video, again, please subscribe to our channel. Give us a like. Right. We appreciate all of those who have stuck with us. 93 of you. Cheer. Yeah, really appreciate you all. Thank you. As a great man once said, thank you very much. I don't know if he actually said that, but yeah, subscribe to our channel, add your comments, give us a couple of these, then go share with all your religious friends, be they Christians, Jewish, Muslims, or former cult members, and we'll catch you later. Okay.